Typical boring day in calculus, only it was Friday, 7th period, meaning the week was almost over and spring break would finally be upon us. So everybody was getting antsy in their seats, I could tell. We didn't have a test that day like a lot of my friends did with their other teachers. So our teacher in the middle of class just decided to start playing games with us on Sporkle.com. He was a very laid-back teacher like that. As we were doing some brand logo quiz on Sporkle, I remember the exact moment it happened. Right after my friend answered a question, I remember the exact answer too, Adidas. The dean's voice came through the loudspeaker. He sounded panicked and frantic as he told all the teachers this was not a drill and to go into lockdown. I actually got the chills and I got goosebumps on my arms as our usually laid-back teacher too seemed panicked as he ran to turn off the lights and ushered us to the back corner of the room. We all sat in silence for about 2 minutes, and then the usual buzzing that came from the panel in the back of the room ceased, indicating that the school must have cut all the power. We all looked at each other, realizing this must be serious. A few more minutes of waiting later, we heard a man screaming at the top of his lungs coming down the hallway. 2 girls in the class actually started crying, which made all of us even more scared. As the screaming got closer to the classroom, the lunatic-sounding man started banging on the lockers while screaming, "I'll kill all of you." It was at that moment that I started to fear for my life. My teacher shushed us as we all looked at each other to see our peers' reactions. The banging then moved from the lockers to our classroom door. And that's when one of the crying girls screamed no. The banging on the door only grew worse as the man started screaming, "Open up."
Here, our school was required to perform at least 2 lockdown drills. But our principal at the time would always have us do more like 3 or 4, so I was pretty used to it. All the teachers would always warn us ahead of time to save any panic. That morning, as I walked into my first period class...
I ain't ever have teachers warn me about a fucking lockdown in high school. That shit just happened. I loved lockdown drills. Even though I thought the drills were dumb, because a lot of the time I thought it was stupid for like school shooter drills because it kind of like instilled not moving. I know different states do different school drills in different schools, but mine, I always thought my drills were dumb. Even though I thought the drills were dumb, it wasted class time, and I fucking loved that.
Like every other drill, he explained how the school was going into lockdown, but that it was just a practice drill. He explained that should there ever be a real lockdown, the buzzer would sound for longer, and there would be no intercom announcement. Our teacher instructed all of us to shut the curtains and go into the corner of the classroom that was not visible from the outside door.
Now this is a prime classroom to just jump out the fucking window, right? This is a prime classroom because that's the door you hear. You hear the school shooter drill thing? Yep. Open that bitch, jump out.
For the next few minutes, we sat in silence. Eventually, we heard footsteps outside. It was the principal trying every classroom door to make sure they were locked, and then the classes were responding to the lockdown correctly. Before I knew it, the drill was over. The day progressed, and I was now sitting in my physics class, which was right after lunch. At some point, I ducked out of the class to use the bathroom. Now, our school...
I always worried about that. What if I'm in the bathroom during a school shooter drill? What if I'm in the bathroom during a real school shooter scenario? I'd climb into the fucking ceiling. I thought about that.
I was sitting in one of the back stalls.
Oh my god, you're taking a shit too? Fuck. You're taking a shit, the school shooter drill fucking sounds off? Am I wiping my ass? Am I wiping my ass? No. No. I'm gonna keep it real? No. No, I'll do a double wipe, right? I'll do a double wipe. If the school shooter drill sounds off, I'm not gonna be running out with just shit all over my ass. But I'll be doing the quick, you know how you always do like the triple check wipe, where like you're just making sure that there's not shit anywhere and blah blah blah. I'm gonna do like the first 3 wipes fast as hell. I might even miss the toilet, just throw that fucking dirty ass wipe on the ground, and then I'm out that bitch.
I was the only one in there, which was usually the case. All of a sudden, I heard the lockdown buzzer start going off from outside in the hall.
Oh my god, the same day the drill already happened?
It sounded for about a full minute before it abruptly stopped. I waited for the principal's voice to come over the speakers, but it never did.
Oh my god, if I heard a gunshot,
like I mentioned earlier,
if I heard somebody walking in the bathroom, I would fucking hike my legs up, and I would sit there and I'd be shaking. Fuck.
It's supposed to signify a real lockdown. At first, I didn't really think it was a real lockdown, though. It happened too close to the practice lockdown earlier that morning. I thought it was just a second part to the drill. But as I sat there for a few more minutes, I started to realize that if that were the case, that probably would have been explained over the intercom. I started to panic, now thinking this was real. I wasn't safe in the bathroom. The door had no lock, so I ran outside to try and find a
Door
key.
had no lock. Buddy, you picking that room? Buddy, that's your first problem. Ain't safe. Number one, even if it was locked, you're not going to be safe. You could just fucking shoot through it or under it, because you could see under the stalls or over them. Number two, you're taking a shit with a stall with no lock?
There wasn't much for options in that basement. It was also hard to see now that they turned the hall lights off. But I did eventually find a classroom door. I tried the handle. It was locked. I looked in through the glass part of the door.
That's what happened in the Parkland shooting. The fire alarm had a drill at the beginning of the day, and then the shooter pulled up at fourth period. Oh, it's probably confused them.
In one of the corners, I could barely make out a kid hiding. There was a class inside. I banged on the door, explaining that I was a student and trying to hide. I got no response.
And that's where I run outside. And that's when I bolt outside as fast as I can. Wherever outside is, that's your only bet. If you're just standing in the hallway, they're not going to let you in. Because you could be the school shooter.
I realized protocol was to never let anyone inside.
It's true school lockdown. You always assume you're safe at school. Even when there's a lockdown drill or a rumor about a fight, it never feels real. You're surrounded by teachers, security, hundreds of other students. It's just another normal day. But in 2022, during my senior year of high school, I learned how quickly that illusion can shatter. Because someone sneaked into my school with a plan, and he was hiding just a few feet away from all of us. It was a Monday morning second period. I remember because we were watching a documentary in history class, and no one was paying attention. Phones out, joking around, just killing time. Then the principal's voice came over the loudspeaker. We are entering a soft lockdown. Teachers, please, lock your doors. No students in the halls until further notice. Now, a soft lockdown wasn't a big deal. It usually meant they were sweeping lockers, or someone got caught with weed. Our teacher even made a joke about it being Drug Dog Monday. But 20 minutes later it escalated. Lights off, doors locked, blinds down, get low, stay quiet. That's when we realized something wasn't right. Everyone in
Hell yeah!
Ahora son cierre por emergencia, puertas balconeables, luces apagadas y fuera de la vista.